Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. First Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 through 18. Maybe you woke up this morning carrying the same thing you carried to bed last night. The doctor's words are still in the room with you. The job offer still has not come through. The conversation that needed to happen still has not happened. And gratitude feels like something you will get to later, once the situation finally turns around. It feels almost preposterous to thank God for the thing that has not happened yet. You can barely bring yourself to say thank you for the things that have. What if that is the wrong order? What if gratitude was never meant to be the applause at the end of the story? What if it is the posture that opens your eyes to what is already happening right now, before anything changes? Because the unresolved thing still sitting on your chest this morning is the exact place thankfulness is being asked of you. Not after it shifts, not after you finally get the news, before, in this, as it is. First Thessalonians 5, verse 18 says it plainly, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." That is not a footnote inside a nicer verse. It is the standing instruction for the day you are walking into right now. So here is what it offers you this morning. It gives you permission to give thanks before the outcome shows up, not after the test results, not after the apology, not after the relief finally lands. Right now, in the middle of the not yet, it gives you eyes to notice what is already true, the roof over your head, the cup of coffee still warm on the counter, the fact that your lungs pulled air in and out all night while you were asleep and you did not have to think about it once. And it gives you the chance to become the one who turns back, not one of the 9 who kept walking toward the next thing. The one who stops, looks at what just happened, and says thank you before doing anything else. Before we go further, take a moment. If you can, rest your hands open on the table in front of you, or on the steering wheel if that is where you are right now. Take one slow breath. And before you ask God for anything this morning, name one small thing that is already true. Just one. Let it land before we keep going. There is a story in Luke 17 that mirrors this moment in a way that feels too close to ignore. 10 people are standing at a distance. They are sick. They are desperate. They are kept apart from everyone they love. Jesus is passing through and they call out to him, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." He does not reach out and touch them. He does not stop and pray over them right there. He says, "Go, show yourselves to the priests." And Luke tells us that as they went, they were cleansed. Read that again. As they went. The healing happened on the way. Not before they obeyed, not after they got back. In the middle of the walk, while they were still in motion towards something they could not yet see. 9 of them kept walking. They had places to be, priests to see, lives to get back to. Maybe they were going to thank God later. Maybe later felt more appropriate once the dust had settled. One of them stopped, a Samaritan. He turned around, came back, praised God with a loud voice, fell at Jesus' feet and thanked him. And Jesus looked at him and asked a question that has been hanging in the air for 2,000 years. Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? That question is not a scolding, it is an invitation. It is the same invitation sitting in front of you this morning. The mercy has already touched the situation in some form you may not even be able to name yet. The question is whether you will turn back now in the middle of the walk, or whether you will keep going and tell yourself you will thank God once you are sure it actually worked. There is something modest but real about gratitude. It does not make the hard thing disappear. The diagnosis does not vanish because you said thank you. The job still has not come. The conversation still has not happened. But gratitude does change what you notice on the way through the day. The light in the kitchen looks different when you stop to see it. The patience you have for the co-worker who is hard to love feels a little more chosen and a little less forced. The small things stop being invisible. So here is the question to carry with you out of this moment. What is one thing you could name as true right now? Before the thing you are waiting for changes, before the answer arrives, what is one thing that is already yours this morning? Let's bring that into prayer now. Not a performance, not a recital, just a conversation. You do not have to get the words right. You just have to show up. God, you are faithful before I remember to notice. You are present before I ask. You were already at work in my life this morning before I opened my eyes, before the first worry found me, before the unresolved thing spoke its name again. You see the situation I keep dragging back to you. You have not looked away from it. You have not grown tired of hearing me bring it up. You are not surprised by the size of it or by how long I have been holding it. So I let go of the belief that I have to wait until things change before I can thank you. I release the need to control the timeline of how this resolves. I open my hands, which are still gripping the outcome, and I lay them flat in front of you. Thank you for what I cannot see yet. Not only for what I already can, I confess that I have been keeping a list, a mental list of what is still wrong, what is still missing, what is still not the way I asked. And that list has been getting more attention than the things you have already answered. I confess that I have been treating Thanksgiving like a reward, something I will get to once the situation gets better, like it has to be earned by the resolution showing up first, as if you are waiting to be thanked until you have done enough. I confess that I have walked past you more than once, kept moving, told myself I would turn around when there was more to celebrate, when the timing felt right, when it made sense to me. Forgive me for that, not as a feeling I'm trying to generate. Receive it as true. You have already forgiven me. I am catching up to what is finished. Today, I ask for wisdom. For one decision I'm facing, the one that has been circling in my mind. I do not need to see the whole road. I just need the next step and the courage to take it. I ask for protection over my mind, that the worry would not become the loudest voice in the room, over my mouth, that my words would not wound the people standing closest to me, over my heart, that the disappointment would not harden into something I carry for years, over my home, that it would stay a place of safety and not of fear. I ask for your presence in the ordinary parts of the day, the kitchen at 6 in the morning before anyone else is up, the commute I do on autopilot, the hard conversation I have been putting off, the task nobody notices that I still have to do anyway. Be in all of it, not just the parts I think you care about. I declare this out loud. I will give thanks in this, not only after this. My gratitude is not waiting on my circumstances. It is not waiting on the outcome, the apology, the phone call, the relief. Psalm 118 verse 24 says, "This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it." So I will rejoice in this day as it is, not because it is easy, because it is given to me. I am one who turns back, not one of the 9. I am the one who stops, who notices, who says thank you before anything else. Thank you that the sun is up this morning. That is small enough to dismiss and real enough to matter. Thank you for the cup in my hand, for the bed I slept in, for the fact that I am not carrying this alone. even on the days it feels that way. The day ahead is a table that is already partially set. The plates are not all out, the chairs are not all filled, but there is bread, and there is light coming through the window, and there is enough for the first hour. That is what I'm starting with. I trust you with the rest of it. The part of the table I cannot see yet. If you want to keep going with this through the day, leave me one thing in the comments that you can thank God for before the day starts. Not because it fixes anything, because it is already true. I will be praying for you. The Lord bless you and keep you. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. That is from Psalm 107 verse 1. Carry that with you into this morning. You are not walking in alone. Amen.